It's the one thing that almost everyone in the United States cannot live without, or so they think. It's the one thing that you more than likely start and end your day with in some sort or another. It's the one thing that may actually be causing more harm than it is good. What is it? Technology. Hold on to your chairs, ladies and gentlemen. You are about to learn what technology is actually doing to your brain and body behind every status update, Twitter post, and Netflix season. It all starts as children. Parents may not find anything wrong with giving their infant an old cell phone to play the latest trending game or to watch the funniest videos on YouTube. Little do they know they are actually stalling brain development. The American Academy of Pediatrics released a study that revealed children under the age of 2 should not be exposed to digital media at all. During these first years, a child's brain develops very rapidly. Young children learn best by interacting with people, not screens. Screens serve as distractions, not a soothing tool, despite what parents think. So that's young children. What about older children and teens? A maximum of 2 hours of media per day is recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics for older children and teens. Yes, you heard that correctly. 2 hours per day, people. Currently, the average teen spends more than 11 hours per day engaged with various different sources of electronic media. It gets worse. In China, video gaming addiction is a clinical disorder, and it has its own specifically designated rehabilitation centers. Is it just me, or is this absurd? The studies and research continue. A 2012 Pew Research Center study revealed texting may in fact be the next national epidemic. Half of teenagers spend at least 50 messages a day. Teens ages 13 to 17 average 3,364 texts a month. Imagine the amount of person-to-person conversations we could have if those texts were sent in person instead of through a screen. Just a thought. To continue with the texting idea, a survey done by the same Pew Research Center showed teenagers send an average of 34 texts a night after they get into bed. Sleep deprivation can occur after staring at a bright light in a dark room. The cause and effects go hand in hand. If you do not believe me yet, please continue listening. Many children and teens experience aggressive behavior. It's plain and simple. The aggressive video games these children are playing is desensitizing them, which then causes the poor behavior. It happens in the video games. Why can't they act like that too? As clinical psychologist Catherine Steiner-Adair stated, toddlers and young children may miss out on the vital experiences of observing the world around them, interacting with caregivers, and developing curiosity, intelligence, empathy, and listening skills. Children need time to daydream, deal with anxieties, process their thoughts. However, when they are heavy users of electronics, they lose the ability to focus on what is most important, which is critical to deep thought and problem solving. They can even experience pain in their fingers and wrists, narrowed blood vessels in their eyes, and neck and back pain from being slumped over to view their phones, tablets, and computers. Now that we have established the effects on children and teens, let's begin looking at all the effects on us as adults. First, we will look at all the physical effects. More than likely, no one thinks of technology as changing their lifestyle. However, technology is in fact transforming lifestyles to sedentary or seated. The longer a person sits in front of a TV or video game, the more likely they are to die at a younger age. It is said for every hour of technology use, 1 hour should be used to do an alternative activity. Another physical effect is sleep problems. The light-emitting diodes found in electronic book readers to transmit blue wavelength light. Prolonged exposure to this light can cause eye strain and fatigue. This can also suppress levels of melatonin, which promotes sleep and allows increased alertness the following morning. Another physical effect is sleep problems. The light-emitting diodes found in electronic book readers transmit blue wavelength light. Prolonged exposure to this light can cause eye strain and fatigue. This can also suppress levels of melatonin, which promotes sleep and allows alertness the following morning. Exposures to the blue light also reduces REM sleep, which is the stage in which dreams occur. Another cause for sleeping problems is the anxiety that is created from missing a call or text, interruptions from texts or calls, and staying up later to use electronic devices. Next up, vision problems. Close computer work can cause dry eyes, double vision, light sensitivity, fatigue, and headaches. The blue wavelength light mentioned earlier penetrates deep into the eye, which then damages retinal cells. This damage can also contribute to macular degeneration. So you already can't sleep, you can't see, and guess what? You can't hear either. Teenagers and young adults are most at risk for hearing loss from the use of earbuds or headphones while using personal audio devices. Almost 50% of individuals ages 12 to 15 are exposed to unsafe levels of sound while using personal audio devices. As the World Health Organization reported, unsafe sound levels can occur with an exposure to an excess of 85 decibels for 8 hours or 100 decibels for 15 minutes. Have you ever noticed neck or back strain after checking your Facebook newsfeed? When a person's neck bends forward and down, the weight on their cervical spine is increased. Think of it as hyperextending a finger and then holding it there for an hour. Painful, right? This is exactly what you are doing to your very own neck. As the tissue stretches for a long period of time, it can become inflamed, which then causes damage. Over time, our poor posture that we develop from always looking down and being hunched over can lead to early degeneration of the spine. And now for perhaps the most outlandish physical effect, text thumb. The repetitive gripping motions used while texting or gaming on our devices results in a constriction of the flexor tendon in our thumb. This causes painful snapping when the thumb goes through the range of motion. The thumb may also lock in a curled position. Permanent tendon damage can result. Also, too much time holding a cell phone to the ear, resting elbows on a desk, or keeping the arms bent in an acute angle can contribute to cubital tunnel syndrome. Now that we have established the physical effects we never realized before, let's look at the emotional effects of technology. We will begin with memory changes. At a cellular level, communication networks between nerve cells in the brain change in response to experiences and stimuli. The use of devices can produce changes in nerve cell behavior, which then causes shorter attention spans, reduced communication skills, and a decreased ability to think abstractly. A study comparing students in Singapore and in the United States showed that Singaporean students spend an average of 1 hour trying to solve an advanced math problem, whereas an American spends a total of 34 seconds before just completely giving up on it. A UCLA study discovered that web users displayed fundamentally different neural structures in the prefrontal cortex. When web users or gaming becomes excessive, studies indicate atrophy in the frontal lobe where executive functions such as planning, organizing, and impulse control occur. Also, there has been a volume of gray matter seen in the striatum. More than likely, we have all multitasked at least once in our lives. It is very common in today's world. However, technology can falsely convince us that multitasking is effective and efficient. Research has shown that the opposite is indeed true. Most of the time, the brain is not able to perform two complex tasks at once. Say, for example, listening to a lecture and texting. This results in less proficiency because the person loses time being distracted and then experiences more mental fatigue. In addition to memory changes, emotional instability can also result from technology use. Who we are and how we feel about ourselves is now being tied to social media sites that provide continual updates of our personal status. Some studies have shown that exposure to positive posts actually produce envy and reduce well-being in some individuals. Some people may use this envy to strive to improve their own life, while others react by getting low self-esteem. Teens in particular are more sensitive to the approval of others on social media. Cyberbullying is very prevalent, with over half of teens either participating in the bullying or being a victim of the bully. Cyberbullying can be anything from spreading rumors online, to circulating unattractive images of another teen, to pretending to be someone else online to hurt another person. Remember, people, once something is posted online, it never really goes away, and it can in fact surface later in your life. Not only does technology affect our emotional stability, it also affects our emotional intelligence. Empathy levels among college students have decreased by over 40% in the last 10 years. The Pew Research Center has indicated that millennials prefer digital rather than in-person interaction. 40% say that substituting texting, video chats, and email for actually meeting up with someone for social interaction. People are now able to invent who they want to be online rather than presenting who they really are. So there's all these problems that have erupted from technology, but what do we do about it to stop it? First, consider wearing sunscreen while using your digital device. If your screen is not LCD or LED, UV light can reflect off of it when you are outside, which then increases your chances of burning and having premature aging. Second, try the 20-20-20 theory. For every 20 minutes of screen time, take a 20-second break to look at something at least 20 feet away. The eye strain from leaning in to look at our devices is worsening our vision. Third, take a social media time out. Take some time to yourself or to connect with friends in real life instead of just liking their status updates and photos. Fourth, your mom was right. Sit up straight. An average of 2 to 4 hours each day are spent hunching over to look at our screens. The top of our monitors should be at eye level so that we are looking down into the center of the screen, which will then relieve neck strain. Fifth, stop multitasking. We are trying to rewire our brains, and all it is doing is causing more distractions and frustrations. And finally, do some brain teasers. Get your mind entertained in something other than a screen, and the benefits will be rewarding. Technology. It's everywhere around us. If we don't take initiative to change the way society is adapting and conforming to this life controller, who will? It is time to take a step back and live our lives, instead of allowing technology to live our lives for us. And now, it's time to power up.